Right, this is a review on topic 1.5 polynomial functions and complex zeros. There are 5 videos, guys, on 1.5. So make sure you've seen all of them because they are based on different topics. At least 1.5 D and E, they basically cover inequalities and even odd functions. So and all the videos are actually it's related to polynomial functions and complex zeros, but they test different concepts. So yeah, right. This is the most basic one where we need to figure out what is the degree and all real zeros and then the multiplicity of each zero. So those of you who are not aware of what these terms are, I'll just solve the first one in detailed fashion and then uh, uh, I think the others you can surely try. Degree is basically the highest power of x. Now, obviously, you will say that to find the highest power of x, I don't know it yet because I need to open this up completely. This is already a linear factor, multiply this out, and then figure out what is the highest power of x. No, you don't have to do that. In all such questions, we know that, okay, I know that when I will open this up, the highest power of x here will be 2. It has to be. So we will have an x squared term over here, which is like the degree of this term. And then I will have 1x from here. And obviously the highest power we'll get when this highest power is multiplied with this highest power. And x squared times x is x cubed. So as simple as the degree of the polynomial is just 3 without even multiplying anything. It's as simple as 2 plus 1. If there's nothing here, that's just 1. Zeros. Now, zeros are the points where the fx is 0. So, fx is 0, obviously, when 4 times x plus 3 whole square times x minus 1 is 0. Applying the zero product property, this means that either x plus 3 whole square is 0 or x minus 1 is 0. So, from here, the value of x is 1. And from here, the whole square is 0. It just means that x plus 3 is 0, which means that x is negative 3. So the roots are negative 3 and 1. But what is the meaning of this multiplicity? It just means the power by which this factor has been raised. For example, over here, I'll just explain that even in detail so that you understand. Let's say x plus 3 whole square. Now, can I write x plus 3 whole square as x plus 3 times x plus 3 is 0? Which means that from this factor, I will get x equal to minus 3. And from this factor as well, I will get x equal to negative 3. So x equal to negative 3 is appearing 2 times. So that is the meaning of multiplicity. It is appearing 2 times, so the multiplicity is 2. And that's why I said that the degree, actually, the individual degree of the factors correspond to the multiplicity. So I'm going to say that the roots are x equal to 1 with a multiplicity of 1 because it is just appearing once. And x equal to negative 3 with a multiplicity of 2. I hope this makes sense. All right, likewise over here, what is a degree? So I'll just add 1 with 3 and with 2. 1, 3, 4, 6. 6 is the degree. And over here, what are the zeros? So for zeros, each factor should be equated to 0. So when x is equated to 0, obviously you just have x equal to 0. When x minus 5 is equal and multiplicity is 1 because the power of x is 1 over here, right? And when this is equated to 0, you will get x as 5, but the multiplicity is 3 because it's obviously x minus 5 cube. And the other guy, when equated to 0, I will have negative 1, so the multiplicity is 2. Likewise, over here, what is the degree? Degree is 3 plus, there's a power of 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5. And the roots are from here, I will get x equal to 0, but the multiplicity this time is 3 because that's x cube. From here, the root is negative 4, multiplicity is 1. And from here, the root is e, multiplicity once again is just 1. And likewise over here, 4 plus 2 is 6, right? Because you understand x raised to 4 times x squared, so the powers are added, so this is 6. It's okay even if this is 2x, that doesn't really change anything. Zeros are from here, x is negative 7 with a multiplicity of 4, and another 0 will be when 2x plus 1 is 0, which means that 2x is negative 1, which means that x is negative 1 over 2. So this is negative 1 over 2, and the multiplicity is 2 over here. All right. Feel free to try these questions. This is also similar, right? So it's just 2 from here, 2 from here, so 4. Um, Here, we have to make sure that we factorize this completely, because after all, for the degrees, x square minus 9, sorry, for the zeros, x square minus 9 should be 0, which means that x square minus 3 square is 0, which means that if I apply the difference of the perfect square formula, is x minus 3 times x plus 3 is 0, which means that x is 3 and x is minus 3. And both are with the power of 1, so multiplicity is 1. So minus 3 and 3 multiplicity 1. And likewise, this guy over here will be x squared, some space over here, x squared minus 4x plus 4 is 0. If we look at this carefully, actually, this is just x minus 2 times x minus 2, right? This can be very easily factored. And this is nothing but x minus 2 whole square is 0, which means that the next degree is, next root is 2 with a multiplicity of 2 as well, because it is 2 right here. Right, now question 6 is a pitfall, because usually the students who take private tutoring classes from me, they often make the mistake once they do these questions and then they say that the degree is 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1 is 6. No, these are not in multiplication. This is just a regular polynomial. And what is the highest degree of this? It's just 3. So that's it. This degree is 3. For zeros, we need to factorize this as much as possible. So I think I can take x as a common factor. So I'm left with x squared plus 10x plus 25. This is again a perfect square, x plus 5 whole square. So if we want to find zeros of this, either this should be 0, so that will give me x as 0, or this should be 0, which will give me x as negative 5 with a multiplicity of 1, with a multiplicity of 2, because there's 2 right here. All right, this is pretty much straightforward now. 2 plus 2 is 4, so 4 over here. X squared minus 1 is 0, which means that x minus 1, x plus 1 is 0, which means that x is 1 and x is minus 1, both with multiplicity of 1. And the other one, you might have all noticed already, it's a perfect square, which is x plus 1 whole square equal to 0, which means that x is negative 1 with a multiplicity of 2. So actually negative 1 is appearing here as well. Negative 1 is appearing here as well. So I can just say that x equal to 1 is with multiplicity 1, but negative 1 is with now 3, because it's appearing 2 times here and 1 and once here, right? I hope you understand. Okay. Last one is 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 2, 7. And I'm going to factorize this as much as possible. I took it on a new page. I needed more space. So 4x cubed. Actually, I don't need 4, but that's fine. Now x squared minus 2x minus 8. I hope you remember the factorization, right? That's, you know, that x method we used to make a big x, and this is just leading coefficient as 1. So this is negative 8 and this is negative 2. Which two numbers of negative 8, factors of negative 8 add up to negative 2? That's, I think, negative 4 and 2. So the factors are x minus 4, x plus 2, likewise x plus 5, x minus 4. So this can be decorated as 4x cubed, x minus 4 whole square, because there are two of these guys, then x plus 2 and then x plus 5 should be equal to 0. So the zeros are x is with 0, x is equal to 0 with a multiplicity of 3, x is equal to 4 with a multiplicity of 2, x equal to negative 2 with a multiplicity of 1, and negative 5 with a multiplicity of 1 as well. All right. New concept. Given the following complex zeros of a polynomial function, determine the conjugate that must also be a zero of the given polynomial. Very simple. It is a property, guys, that if a complex number is a zero of a, or if, let me just simplify, if there is a complex zero of a polynomial, then basically its conjugate is also a zero. And what is conjugate? just the opposite sign of I. Write the same thing with opposite sign of I. That's it. So what is the conjugate of this guy? 3 plus 2i. For this guy, negative 6 minus 6i. For this guy, 5 minus I, negative 1 plus I, minus 4i, or negative 4i, and positive 3i. That's about it. A polynomial has the following zeros. Remember the least possible degree. Okay, so uh, okay, please pay attention to at least the first one. You understand that, you can easily do the next one. So this is with multiplicity of 2, which means that I have x minus 3 appearing 2 times. So this is contributing to a power of 2. Can we agree on that? Because one power coming from here and one power coming from here. Or otherwise, I would have right away said that the multiplicity 2 means this is contributing to a power of 2. Likewise, x equal to 3i is just one root, so contributing to one power, but we just discussed that complex zeros occur in conjugate pairs. So negative 3i will also be a root, so it will actually contribute 2 powers. Likewise, this and its conjugate 2, so this is 6. This is the least possible degree of the polynomial. Likewise, over here, 1 power from here, multiplicity 3, 3 powers from here, multiplicity 2, 2 powers from here, and this and its conjugate 2. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the least possible degree. Right, factorize the following expressions as possible. If not, write non-factorable. Okay. X squared minus 25, I think that's pretty straightforward. So difference of perfect square, x squared minus 5 square, which is x minus 5, and x plus 5. That's the difference of the perfect square formula. Here, I think I can take 1x as a common factor. So I'm left with x squared plus 5x plus 6. And I think this can very easily be factored because the factors of 6 are 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 add up to give us 5. So x plus 2 and x plus 3. Over here, this can be written as x squared minus 7 square, and this can be written as, do we have any two factors of negative 14 that add up to 5? I think 7 and negative 2, right? So it should be x plus 7, x minus 2, if I'm not wrong. And this is again the difference of the perfect square, so x minus 7, x plus 7, and then this guy remains as it is, x plus 7, x minus 2. So this will become x minus 7 times x plus 7 whole square times x minus 2. This is the factored form. This cannot be factored for a very simple reason that a square plus b square kind is not factorable, right? Okay, this is a little different because there is a leading coefficient, but the process remains the same, that you make x here, make an x, and negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. Negative 1 is at the bottom, and which two factors of negative 4 and negative 12 add up to give negative 1? I think negative 4 and 3. But just from these numbers, we cannot just write the factors, right? We have to split the middle term in this case because the leading coefficient is not 1. So I'm going to say that this can be written as 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 6. I splitted the middle term. From here, I take 2x as a common factor, so I'm left with x minus 4. And from here, I take 3 as a common factor. I'm left with x minus 2. This is x minus 2. Again, left with x minus 2. So x minus 2 is taken as a common factor from the whole, and I'm left with x minus 2 times 2x plus 3. That is the final answer. Likewise, over here, we'll try to do that x thing. So we'll make that x negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. This is negative 7. So I think the factors are negative 8 and 1. So this will become 2x squared minus 8x plus x minus 4. The factors will be, I take 2x out and then plus 1 out. So 2x plus 1 times x minus 4. And over here, this is pretty easy. I think negative 4 times 3 are the factors. So x minus 4 and x plus 3. So x minus 4 and x plus 3 here. And finally, this can be written as 2x plus 1, x minus 4 whole square times x plus 3. So this will be the final factor version.